In this video, I'm going to break down the elements of the effortless way and the principle of least action as it relates to manifesting things to come into your life. What is the most effective way? And that is least action, the effortless way. This is from Neville Goddard's Power of Awareness, Chapter 14, the effortless way. I'm going to break this down because creation is finished, so you don't have to travel to get your manifestation. You don't have to travel anywhere. And when you can get that out of your mind and understand that it's a psychological journey, not a physical journey, there's nothing separate from you. So when you can understand that and apply the principle of least action, you will understand that manifesting can be very simple. Once you get this down, once you understand this, and I'm going to explain this in a way where it will be simple for you to gather. Okay, so the principle of least action governs everything in physics, from the path of a planet to the path of a pulse of light. Least action is the minimum of energy multiplied by the minimum of time. Therefore, in moving from your present state to the state desired, you must use the minimum of energy and take the shortest possible time. And how do you do that? Because it's a psychological journey. You go there through a mere assumption, and which is a psychological journey, not a physical journey. It is not far away from you, because we know that the only real world that exists is your imagination. So it's all just about you understanding that imagination is the only world that is real, and that everything is already created. So anything that you want, you can connect to that by taking a psychological journey and making a mere assumption that you already have something. You're assuming that you already have something, and that connects you to that frequency or that vibration or that feeling state of already having it. And then you're directed, and then you're taken to a different parallel universe with a version of yourself that already has it. So basically, that's what he's saying here. So your journey from one state of consciousness to another is a psychological one. So to make the journey, you must employ the psychological equivalent of least action, and the psychological equivalent is mere assumption. And this is basically what affirmations do. When you're using an affirmation, you're saying, I am rich, I am successful, I am in a great relationship, I am this, I am that. What you're doing is you're making a mere assumption, and it's a psychological journey that you're actually living in that present moment. You're making the future now, and you're making it like an effortless journey, and it's a psychological one. And you're making a mere assumption that I am this now, or you're just doing wealth and success, or you're leaving the I am up. But you're creating that feeling state, and you're taking that psychological journey as you're stating these things. As you're affirming your new state, you are taking that psychological journey and creating that present moment feeling state or vibration or, frequency, whatever terminology you want to use. Okay. So, all right. So this is important right here. Okay. The day you fully realize the power of assumption, you discover that it works in complete conformity with this principle. It works by means of attention minus effort. Okay, now notice attention. He's always hitting on this. Your ability to hold your attention on something without any effort. And the more you can develop your ability to hold your attention on one thing, and persist in a mere assumption with a high degree of attention, then you don't have to use so much effort. Because once you develop that muscle of the mind to hold your attention on something, then the effort fades away. Then you no longer have to try so hard to hold your attention on the feeling of the wish fulfilled. So this is a big turning point, I think, that I wanted to get into, is because developing your attention and coupled with the minus the effort, that's where it comes in. So developing your level of the muscle of your mind and being able to hold your attention on an assumption as if it's already complete, whether that's through scripting or affirming or mentally rehearsing something, it doesn't matter. That's what puts you in this effortless way, the principle of least action. So developing your attention, the power of your mind the muscle of the mind is all that ability to hold your attention on one thing. And that's what excludes the effort. You no longer have to use effort to hold your attention on your affirmations, your scripting, or whether you're mentally rehearsing or visualizing. So this is the key in this chapter. This is the key to manifesting right here. Being able to hold your attention without any effort. Okay, that's what he's saying here. Okay, so with least action through an assumption, you hurry without haste and reach your goal without effort. Because creation is finished. Creation is finished. What you desire already exists, and all you have to do is hold your attention on that feeling, without any effort. Right there, guys. The leaf exercise. If you are not already in Neville book, the link is in the description below. Start doing those exercises, developing your attention, and that'll take away the effort. And that will propel you to be able to create anything you want in your life. It'll help you in every facet of life if you can develop the muscle of the mind to hold your attention on anything. So that's the key. That is the key, your ability to hold your attention without any effort. Okay, so everything is just excluded from view because you can only see the contents of your own consciousness, and that is developing and creating a new concept of self by holding your attention on a new version of yourself or a new concept without any effort, and then creating a new sense of awareness. And when you have a more keen sense of awareness with your new concept of self, then you're going to experience different portions of creation and be manifesting new portions of creation that is already finished. Okay, so it is the function of an assumption to call back the excluded view and restore full vision. It is not the world, but your assumptions that change. Listen to this. It is not the world, but your assumptions that change. An assumption brings the invisible into sight. An assumption brings the invisible to sight. Even though it's already created, it is invisible to you right now. So it's like, have you ever read a book like this book right here, The Power of Awareness? The first time I read it, it was a great book. The 10th time I read it was a completely different book. Like, my awareness had increased so much, the book completely changed. And this is not just a tricky play with words. The book actually changed with my higher level of consciousness. My new awareness had actually transformed the book to something different than it was the first time that I read it. Every 10 times I read it, it becomes a totally different book. Every time I read it, I'm extracting something totally different from it because of my present level of awareness. And this is how your world works. When you're manifesting something into your world, as your level of awareness increases, you start seeing things that were invisible before that you wouldn't normally be able to see with that lower level of awareness. But now, as your level of awareness increases, you will now see things that were invisible to you before, and now you can extract this information and use this information to actually achieve your goals and actually, create an entirely different life through your new awareness. And this all comes back to your level of attention, like the ability to focus on one thing through like the leaf exercise, the different exercises we do. It all comes back to that. And when you have that high level of attention without effort, then your awareness and your concept of self increases, and then life gets so simple. As your ability to be able to hold your attention on one thing increases, life becomes easy. It becomes simple to do normal things or high level things. It becomes very simple to do those things because your level of attention has increased so much that you're doing things that everyone's like, how are you doing this? You're the smartest guy I've ever met in my life. And I say, this comes so simple to me. That's just who I am because the level of attention that I've gained, increasing that muscle of my mind to be able to focus on that feeling state of already having something. And then all the doors that you could ever imagine just open up for you in your life. And everything just becomes simple at that point once you develop your attention, and then you can start manifesting things in your world because you don't have to use effort anymore. And that's the principle of least action. That is the effortless way, and that is the way to create because you're taking a psychological journey. So if you're using all this effort because your mind isn't developed enough to hold your attention on a feeling state, then it's all out of whack. Okay, you're using too much effort. You have to use minus effort with attention, and that's how you manifest things into your world. All right, so let's continue here. It is the function of an assumption to call back the excluded view and restore full vision. It is not the world, but your assumptions that change. An assumption brings the invisible into sight. It is nothing more nor less than seeing with the eye of God, which is, i.e., the imagination. All right, so for the Lord seeth not as a man seeth, for man looketh on the outward appearance, but the Lord looketh on the heart. The heart is the primary organ of sense, hence the first cause of experience. When you look on the heart, you are looking at your assumptions. Your assumptions determine your experience. Watch your assumptions with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. All right, so this is a topic here that I want to cover about watching your assumptions with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of your life. So if your life right now is not exactly the way that you want it to be, it's because of your assumptions and your thoughts. All your thoughts. So watch your thoughts and assumptions right now. So having that present moment awareness and that attention, having that attention and being able to, in the present moment, watch your thoughts, watch your assumptions with all diligence and start changing them because that is where your issues of life come from, is from those assumptions and those thoughts, okay? So assumptions have the power of objective realization. Every event in the visible world is the result of an assumption or idea in the unseen world, guys, right there. The present moment is all important, for it is only in the present moment that our assumptions can be controlled. In the moment, our assumptions the present moment is the only real moment to make any changes. So slow time down with that attention. When you start developing that attention, you could slow time down and start with all diligence. Watch your assumptions, watch your thoughts, and start changing them. Start manipulating your world. Start watching your world start to change when you start to do this. And that'll be proof in itself that this is actually the truth. The future becomes the present when you imagine that you already are what you will be when your assumption is fulfilled. So this is where it is. So once you have the developed attention and use the effortless way, the future becomes the present when you imagine that you already are what you will be when your assumption is fulfilled. And be still, which is least action, and know that you are that which you desire to be without any effort, guys. Having that developed attention on one thing, on that feeling state. The end of longing should be being. Okay, the end of longing should be being. So that's where it comes in with that attention. Once you have that developed attention, you can be still with least action, go into meditation and use your attention, find the feeling state, whether that's from scripting or affirming or visualizing, mentally rehearsing, anything. Find the feeling, attach yourself to it, locate the feeling, then hold on to that feeling with your powerful attention on one thing, and develop and without effort, because you have that muscle of the mind developed, you're able to hold your attention on that feeling without effort in your meditation, and then you will have it. Perpetual construction of future states. This is important right here. This is where he talks about the failure, of most people that are trying to manifest and they give up on manifesting, and this is the reason. Perpetual construction of future states without consciousness of already being them, that is, picturing your desire without actually assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled, is the fallacy and mirage of mankind. The stumbling block for people trying to manifest is this, and that it all comes down to the point of this video, which is your attention. Minus effort, the effortless way. Be still in meditation, have a fully developed attention, and focus on this feeling state. Locate the feeling state that is your fulfilled desire as already being completed. It's already completed. Find that feeling state, and then without effort, because your attention is so powerful, without effort, you focus on that feeling state and you fall asleep with that, or you use that throughout the day and impress the subconscious mind with this new wish as being fulfilled without effort. Okay, so because that's where it is. That's where the effort is coming in, because people picture their desire without actually assuming the feeling, because they're trying so hard to visualize or affirm or to script. They're so focused on the act itself, they're missing the feeling state. They're missing the feeling state and they're using too much effort. So develop the attention, and that will propel you. You'll get over your stumbling blocks right there. And that is in the link in the description below. That is Neville book, guys. Get on those courses. If you're not already in there, sign up. And there's only $2 for 8 courses, and we're coming up with new courses. So sign up. That link is in the description below. That will propel you to that next level and getting into the least action and the effortless way, developing that muscle of the mind. Okay, so. And the last part here is it is simply futile daydreaming. And that's what it is when you're visualizing or you're affirming or you're scripting without actually having that feeling state or being absorbed in that feeling state of your wish fulfilled. Then it becomes just a futile daydream. Okay, so you're not creating anything. It's just a daydream until you actually retain that feeling state of actually, if it's happening to you right now and you're in that feeling state, thinking from it and not of it, that we've gone over. All right, so this is going to be the next chapter. It is the Crown of the Mysteries. It's a really good chapter chapter 15. But let me give you a little brief recap here. The most important part here, all right, guys? So, all right, right here. Your journey from one state of consciousness to another is a psychological one. So to make the journey, you must employ the psychological equivalent of least action, and the psychological equivalent is a mere assumption. So we want to get back to that power of attention, guys. Your ability to be able to focus on one thing excludes the effort. There's no more effort involved. So you're able to hold on to a feeling state, whether you're visualizing, you're affirming, or you're scripting. You have such a powerful level of attention that's very simple. You don't need to use any effort anymore. You can just focus on it, especially after repetition of doing it, and developing that muscle of the mind, understanding what consciousness is. Then it becomes simple for you. And then this is right here. We hit it right on the head, guys. The effortless way, the principle of least action. All right, guys, I love you guys very much. And don't forget to give me one thing you guys are great for, and I'll see you guys in the next video.